We are live.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max and Tucker today. We're going to have a great show just talking about financial markets, doing some charting. We're going to try to keep it pretty casual today, given that it's Thursday, getting close to the end of the week. I hope you guys have had an enjoyable week of trading thus far. I know it's been very, very choppy this week. Obviously, last week was a bit more of an obvious trend, but usually what follows after a week like that is something like what we're sitting in right now, where you have, at least as far as like Bitcoin and indexes go, you have some range, some choppiness, shaking out some participants who expected some immediate volatility in those markets. And we're really seeing that right now. But you know what you also see in that range is you start to see those capital rotations out of the largest assets within their respective spaces, right? Like with Bitcoin, you see money rotate out of Bitcoin into altcoins, usually Ethereum, but I mean Ethereum's underperforming very heavily right now, and we'll talk about that I'm sure later on this show. But you're also seeing it with equities as well, where you have the S&P and you have QQQ that are both basically flat, maybe a little bit down. But if they're down, it's negligible. But you simultaneously have IWM ripping about 1.25%. I don't know if this is necessarily related to something that we've talked about before on this show, but the pair trade has kind of been right for a lot of these institutions to go long on tech and then to short the Russell as a hedge. And you kind of see these hedges unwind from time to time. And maybe this is what we're seeing right now in IWM, and maybe a similar effect occurring in altcoins, right? You've had Bitcoin ranging for essentially a week and a half, and now that we've built up shorts on not just Bitcoin on the bleed, but altcoins have really taken a beating, quite frankly. I mean, a few days ago, I mean, most altcoins were down 5, 6, 7%, but intra week, that typically offers a pretty good mean reversion opportunity at some point. And so, those were some trades that I took yesterday, for example. But no, I mean, we're seeing some rotation out of very large cap assets into smaller cap, more speculative type of beta, which shouldn't be a surprise in my opinion at all. We can talk about later whether or not for Bitcoin this is kind of representative of a pit stop, or if this is kind of like a distributive mechanic, where we see this rotation into altcoins. But I want to point out before I kind of turn it over to Max and Tucker here that I think one of the most interesting things out of this morning is that you have, I mean, earlier Bitcoin dominance was green and altcoins across the board were up, 5 to 10%. Before you make a comment about the Bitcoin dominance metric itself, I think it's more related to Ethereum at the moment underperforming it's if you're benchmarking its beta historically speaking, I mean Ethereum it's underperforming it. It's underperforming Bitcoin to the upside. And then when people really want to speculate for volatility, they're not chasing Ethereum at the moment. Because I mean, I feel like at this point you can barely really get it on Ethereum. You can catch these 50 to 100 point moves fairly rapidly. But as far as like expansion goes, and those 2, 3, 400 point moves that you trade Ethereum specifically for, it's very suppressed. And so you're seeing better opportunity for volatility and returns in the altcoin market, which I think is it continues to be one of the more interesting storylines within crypto. I don't know when exactly the ETH volatility situation is necessarily going to resolve itself, but it might be when we're much more confident that bullish conditions are going to be apparent. And you start to see some of those institutions cover their volatility short positions. But yeah, not to sound like a broken record about the Ethereum positioning. I want to get right into the action, guys, right? Because we've got all these small caps moving. We've got Bitcoin up 2%. What is your takeaway from what we're seeing right now, Max? And how are you kind of approaching the next few days?
Yeah, certainly. Hey, Tommy. Well, right now my positioning is more or less flat. I do have some exposure to select select alts and some on-chain stuff that we've been dabbling with and having a little bit of fun. And those are doing quite well. This rotation that we're seeing, it's small caps and altcoins versus, the majors, or, the traditionally more stable place to put money, being like the S&P 500 or Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't look, I think it's more of a dead cat bounce than anything. I think if you were to chart, the Russell 2000 against QQQ, I think that you'd consider today's pop a dead cat bounce, just like I would consider Solana's outperformance against Bitcoin to be a dead cat bounce against its relative Bitcoin pair. I don't think this is, again, I use the word rotation, but I don't think that this is actually a rotation. Um, and just to be even more specific, I don't think it's going to be one that lasts too long. I think the show will potentially continue, but the action's going to head back to where it's most comfortable, which again is in mega cap tech, or really just like large cap companies that make up these indexes, and then Bitcoin and potentially Ethereum, but mainly Bitcoin. I don't think it's much more than a dead cat bounce, but it is notable, and there were definitely some awesome opportunities to make some money. We've been doing pretty well on chain, which has been fun. I know Tommy hit some altcoin longs that he disclosed in our Discord as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird market right now, and the books are really thin, and you're seeing these sort of spastic moves. And Tommy alluded to it as well, where something like Ethereum, even though it's moved up, you can tell it's just been like being dragged by Bitcoin kicking and screaming. Um, it hasn't been trending. It's like I would say Bitcoin has been trending. ETH has been at times picking up a little bit against Bitcoin, but beyond that, um, not too much. Truthfully, not too much. Um, I'm really still leaning towards there just being more chop overall. I'm leaning towards Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of ranging up in this area. I would say at the low point 29.5, and then the high point maybe I would say we maybe aren't ready to breach the high yet, so let's just say 31. I still am in the camp that there's a long setup, and Bitcoin should at least contest that high at least one more time, but I don't think it's right here. I don't think it's this week, but I think it could happen soon. And truthfully, I'd like to see it happen soon. I'm not exactly sure what it means, like where it will stop, but I think if you've shorted here, I don't know if your stop is safe right above the high, truthfully, if you're looking to swing this thing down. But yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of waiting. I don't think there's a ton of action right here. I actually am eyeing down some things. I do have, and I'll just disclose this here. I've talked about it before, but I do have an arc position rolling from lower. I don't mind what I'm seeing here in terms of a compound. I'm potentially looking to take another move on arc from like, lower 40, like 43 and a half, potentially for a move up to like 52, 53. I don't mind what I'm seeing right here. Maybe we'll get into the charts in a little bit. But yeah, anyways, for right now, mainly with crypto, I think this is more of just like a dead cat bounce. I wouldn't say this is some sort of sustained rotation that we're about to see, where Bitcoin had its moment to shine, and now we're going to see alts outperform. I think this is just it's just in a liquid squeeze, and I don't think much more weight should be put on it than that at this point. Specifically, ETH BTC. I mean, look, I've been crapping on ETH BTC for months now. Since the beginning of the year, I was saying that I think ETH BTC needs to head down to 0.055 and potentially even lower. I could see a serious case being painted for zero point zero 0.04 on ETH BTC heading into the next halving, which again is, we've got plenty of time. We're talking end of Q1, early Q2 of 2024. But I think you want to see all these altcoins reset, even Ethereum against their Bitcoin pairs. I think it leads to a much healthier market overall. And I look forward to accumulating altcoins when their respective Bitcoin valuations have dropped or dwindled to a point that I think would be considered distressed valuations. So those are my opening thoughts. But yeah, lots to dissect today. Lots going on, lots of charts I want to get into. But yeah, I'll kick it over to Tucker. We'll get some thoughts from him.
Yeah, I was just looking at. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's a big crypto OPEX tomorrow, like 7 billion, which is the most that we've had in a good long while. It's I'm just looking at the trading view like news alert deal. It's 300 million more than last quarter's. Put the call is 0.56 and 0.57. That's pretty bullish, but that also implies max pain is 26.5 and 1700 for Bitcoin and ETH. Um, so that's interesting. I mean, like, are they going to let all these guys win? I don't know, because a lot of positions are going to unwind tomorrow. And I guess their contention from the article or from the news snippet is that if we expire tomorrow with Bitcoin above 30K, these dealers are going to have to buy spot. So I guess that's probably the line in the sand, is if we expire above 30K, we're probably going higher. Like that's kind of been I've kind of been back and forth with it. Because we've retested 30K like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times, and I was just sitting here like, how many times are they going to let the 30K longers get at least 2.5% out of every time they bid it? Um, we're coming down right now, but I mean, I'm kind of zoomed out. Like, I'm just looking at this as like a big range. Like I said on our Discord call this morning, I was just looking at the local highs at like 30.8, or sorry, 31K. And I was saying if we get above that, like we're easily going to go set new highs of the year. But even when I zoom out, like that's kind of the line in the sand is 31K. Like if you get above 31K, plus you get the boost of dealers buying after their options expire, like that could be the juice for a bullish first couple weeks of July to get to maybe even 35. So um that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. It all depends. Like we should get some volatility between now and this OPEX happens at 3 a.m. my time tonight. So it's 8 a.m. UTC. So um, if we we'll probably get some volatility before 3 a.m. But yeah, that was just something interesting. I hadn't really looked too much into the options piece of it, but um yeah, besides that, ooh, sorry, I might have just messed up my thing for the OBS Max, but um yeah, I mean, I kind of I like I have a couple lists. Like I got my Bitcoin pairs and my ETH pairs. My Bitcoin pairs list is all green. All these alts, especially Sol, is crushing their Bitcoin pairs. The ETH pairs is pretty much all green besides BNB and XRP, which is kind of to be expected, I guess. But yeah, so we're seeing that nice little risk on move by a lot of these altcoins. Um, Pepe, of course, ripping again. So I don't know. Like if if we don't close above 30K, this little altcoin rally is going to come to a screeching halt, I think, and it's going to be pretty bloody. It's definitely nice to see right now. Like, um, I know myself and Tommy bought some altcoins in the last few days that are up quite nicely, but um, yeah, I just 30K is an easy line in the sand. Um, and yeah, basically 30 and 31. You got like 1,000 point range. We've kind of been stuck in there since like, I guess only like a week or two ago. But if we zoom out, it kind of looks like distribution. I'm not gonna lie. It's tough because it's like, yeah, it could be like bullish consolidation up here, but we've just been unable to go up or down. We just had scam wicks to both sides. Like um, it's kind of hard to figure out, but I got the range drawn. We've kind of SFP'd the high like multiple times at this point and the low. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna position here on perps. I'm probably just gonna be reactive. I've just been playing spot alts for the most part. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on crypto. Just quickly, I mean, equities have been kind of boring, but just quickly looking at equities. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, pretty flat, pretty flat. You got to get above 438 for higher. Like you were talking about before the show, Max, that IWM long would have just been beautiful.
Dude, I'm
But
mad about that one. I had it marked out, and I
dude,
don't know why I forgot to set the alert. Like I had the line drawn, but there was no alert on it. So I don't know if I removed like the wrong alert or something. But
yeah.
it just you and I mapped that out like
Hmm.
30 to 40 days ago,
Yeah.
and it
And it was
just it
perfect.
was perfect, and I didn't get the ping on my phone, so I don't know what happened there, but either way, I mean, we did make some money on it. We played some calls a while back, but yeah,
Yeah.
this would have been the one I was really looking for.
Yeah. It was literally exactly where we wanted it, right at 180. And that's the thing too with IWM. Like I've just got a big volume profile drawn on it. We're above that value area high. Like if we can close up above 185, it's like we're probably gonna go take the high at 190. I'd have to say, and maybe even maybe 192s. I don't know. I think there's definitely a case to be made for higher for equities, especially today after we got GDP was positive. You know, re- the rate futures market is now basically fully pricing in a hike for July and another one for the fall. So, if we're going to continue ripping on news like that, like I don't know what's gonna push us down, and I don't see why small caps don't catch a bid slash rotation. It'll probably just be call buying, but that's been the story thus far. It's just people renting the rally. So I mean, why not, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking at this morning, guys.
Thanks, Tucker. Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought up the OPEX date that we have in crypto because I remember seeing somewhere on a tweet that it was like the most amount of quarterly expiration contracts that we've had since like the 2021 top. So very, very big implications coming out of June, no matter what direction that necessarily is. I'm not sure what it means for price. I imagine some of the really wonky things you've seen with open interest throughout June might have something to do with that. For example, like Bitfinex, their open interest being up only since
Yeah.
the literal first day of June. I think that has a lot to do with this expiration date. So I'm going to be paying very, very close attention to that, that OI contract and that pairing to see if, that guy closes out any of those contracts and why I think is also something. I'm sure it could be something like ARB related or something like that. But I mean, Bitfinex getting that or having that many longs come in or that much OI come in on Bitcoin open interest is not normal by any capacity. So I'm hoping we find out why that is the case, even though markets have a way of moving without, us knowing why exactly that is. But yeah, no, Max, you said something earlier about ETH that I thought was really really pertinent, right? Like Bitcoin is dragging ETH, but it's like kicking and screaming the
Yeah.
whole way. And that is exactly what ETH feels like right now. It is amazing how muted not only the volatility is, but I mean, just really how muted the volatility is. It's disappointing because Ethereum is like the volatility major, essentially, right? That's why people trade it. And lately it just hasn't been that. Do you guys have any charts we can pull up on ETH? We can take a look at it because one of the things that I was thinking with ETH is that if Bitcoin does make a new yearly high, which I do think that it can and hopefully will, Ethereum, I think, would probably put in a lower high in that case. It wouldn't, or you finally get that catch up and Ethereum runs its yearly high all over again. That would be the funniest outcome, probably, if all the shorts who have been residing on ETH for, I mean, how long has it been since we put in that high? Probably since March, early April. All those guys got run out of their positions, and then we saw the real downside. Maybe it's ETH making the higher high that eventually, causes this market to go lower. But ETH Bitcoin does not look good. Tucker. I'm glad you're sharing that screen.
Yeah,
And I don't want
Yeah.
to I will say I kind of meme people because every time I see charts that go to 0.04, it's usually time to buy alts, which is kind of why I bought alts yesterday. But
Hmm.
it's hard to look at that chart and not think it's going to that level eventually.
And Tucker, by the way, I changed up the view today. You don't have to keep up your tickers on the right side. Yeah, you can.
Oh, nice, nice,
If you
nice,
want to,
nice.
you can, but yeah, you don't have to
Oh,
today.
that's so much better. I love it.
Yeah. I
Uh,
wanted to comment back on something, Tommy. So, um, yes, I think that Bitcoin is basically dragging Ethereum kicking and screaming. Yes, we've established that. I think that this was a lot of distribution on the ETH BTC pair, and I think money will flow back into Bitcoin. I also want to just point out something in regards to Bitcoin dominance, which I haven't seen discussed yet, but it's an obvious truth, and I think it's something that everybody should at least consider. In regards to Bitcoin dominance, it's broken out how we thought it would. Okay. And we said, look, the direction of the USD denominated pairs, Bitcoin USD, ETH USD, alts USD, it doesn't matter. You make your bet, but the smartest, safest play, and we talked about this when we were sub 50%, sub 49% Bitcoin dominance, this chart right here. We said, you decide which direction you think this market's going to go up or down. Bitcoin's going to absorb a lot against all these other altcoin pairs. The market has it seems to have decided which way it wants to go. Everything since the breakout of Bitcoin dominance has moved up. Of course, Bitcoin has been leading the charge, but nonetheless, the market has decided that it wants to bid. I want to put this out there as a disclosure because I don't see enough people talking about it. I actually don't see anybody talking about it, but it seems like an obvious reality that should be discussed. Just because the start of this Bitcoin dominance rally has been the market going risk on and wanting to bid doesn't mean that Bitcoin dominance can't go to 60% and the market can collapse. Okay. Just because the start of the move has been US dollar pairs ripping doesn't mean that the entirety of the Bitcoin dominance move has to continue that way. We could see Bitcoin dominance go to 60% and Bitcoin could pull back to 18. Okay. So just because the move has started like that doesn't mean it will finish the same way. So I see a lot of people just like confidently looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart going like, this is that point in the market cycle where Bitcoin outperforms everything. BTC against alts does extremely well and Bitcoin's going to go to 50K and it's just going to keep going straight up in a straight line. Again, just because a move started this way doesn't mean it has to finish this way. The Bitcoin dominance trade could still be extremely correct. But their US dollar pairs could slide substantially, just to be clear. And it doesn't have to, but don't think that you're completely insulated from markets pulling back and this trade still working because it can completely 180 but still work out.
That's a wild looking chart, man.
I know.
Like the move you would expect though from breaking a 2-year
Yeah.
compression. That's not done, man. That's
No,
definitely not done.
no,
Yeah. I'm thinking we get up here
yeah.
easy.
I kind of think we have like a fake reclaim of that level. Like I think we maybe go to like 60% and that's like a deviation and then it's down.
That makes sense.
That would be
I
6.
don't know how much more it can go than 60% in these current market conditions without just like completely obliterating all USD.
And something to consider too with this chart is that it does weight stable coins. If you
Yeah.
looked at Bitcoin dominance and removed the stable coin market caps from it, it would paint a little bit of a different picture.
It'd be
Um,
higher, wouldn't it? It'd be
yeah, it
like
would. Yeah.
significantly higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to go and make like new highs on Bitcoin dominance because there's new stable coins that are, part of this weighting that weren't, from the early days. So
Powerful move though, man.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Because I know Ben Cohen likes to do like that. Yeah. Bitcoin and ETH dominance combined. I remember he was charting something like this and he was looking for like 80s.
80s.
80%.
Should happen. That should happen.
He was looking for like this.
I mean, I think
It
if
will happen.
for that to happen, I think we'd want to see Bitcoin go to like 37K and continue on this trek where the market's risk on, but really only Bitcoin is bidding in a serious way. And then we have a serious nuke and everything just bleeds crazy against Bitcoin. I don't Yeah, I mean that's a pretty unbelievable move right there.
Yeah, this is just majors dominance.
Oh,
So
this is Bitcoin and ETH dominance. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, I thought it was just Bitcoin dominance. I was like, we'd have to go like to 13K or something after 37. You know, it would just have to
Max
be
Oh,
getting
this is
all
crazy.
just
his
Bitcoin and ETH.
kids filled.
Okay, that makes much more sense. I was like, dude, we were just talking about like 60. I wasn't looking at your axis. I was just looking at the chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
This goes with kind of my bias on Bitcoin and ETH too. Like that premium article I wrote recently about how I
Yeah.
basically think that everything is, I mean, it just makes sense for everything to rotate back into Bitcoin and Ethereum. The value proposition for most of these altcoins is it's gone at the moment. So,
Well,
why would you hold
we'll wait for the new value propositions to arise from the new projects, the new technological revolutions.
It's funny you're seeing like all the demand for alts that is actually organic. It's coming for on-chain projects. It's not coming for exchange alts. All of these VC owned projects and all that garbage, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to outperform on-chain tokens that launched in the last like 3 or 4 months over the course of this year. I don't see any reason why it would.
No, do you know what's like kind of disheartening but also awesome, and I think it might work out, is that I
Mm.
think that low key when it's finally time to accumulate spot and just like turn your brain off for 12 months as the bull market commences, whenever that happens, it'll probably for me be like mid 2024 if I had to guess right now. I low key think that just holding like 50% of your spot portfolio in Pepe is going to outperform like dramatically.
The
Probably.
fact that so many people think that makes me think that it could take a little bit longer to play out, though, on Pepe specifically.
Look at
Because I feel like everybody wants a bag of Pepe as the meme token of next bull cycle. And how many people thought that of Doge? Not as many people are that are saying it for Pepe, at least is kind of what I'm thinking.
Let me
So
throw this at you. Let me throw that. You could be right, but let me throw this at you. I think it feels that way because of the circles that you kind of roll in and how like in touch with the markets you are. I don't think that it's accurate to say that most people want a bag of Pepe. I think from the people that are left that haven't capitulated completely or just moved on to something else, they're all watching it. But you also like give yourself some credit. Like you're very ingrained with guys that trade on chain and bought Pepe at 200K market cap, and they understand sort of these cycles and these rotations. So it's like, I mean, you certainly could be right, but I feel like the sample that you're sort of polling, it's I mean, it's like going to like the deep south and picking a random neighborhood, all houses with Confederate flags, and being like, who here is like a Democrat? You're not gonna get. It's like it's not a proper sample size, you know.
yeah, I agree. I think it's more from the standpoint that maybe we need a little bit more time-based capitulation um, rather than price. Like it might be floored, but maybe we just need a few fewer people to believe in it. Um, before it eventually runs.
I'll tell you this though, the recent pump off the lows gives me some more confidence that Pepe will make a new all-time high at some point, like substantially. I don't think the time is now. I actually think that we'll probably range under 1 billion market cap for quite some time. Like, draw your range wherever you want. Do you believe, Tucker? Do you
Oh,
believe?
I believe. Dude, the fractal has been playing like silly.
Yeah, it has.
If you can massage it a little bit, but like, dude,
Yeah, no, you got to believe.
you gotta, this could be that this could be this. You know what I mean? That could be that.
It could be.
We could be about to just launch up to
So if you
0.0224.
were to go and look at like SHIB or something, um, yeah, maybe Tucker, when you're done massaging there, if you could pull up a SHIB chart and we go back to the early days of SHIB, you could go to a lower time frame than that. Maybe like go to the daily
Yeah.
and go back. Yeah, it enters like these long. So if you zoom in on that level right there, those are
What, the
huge. Yeah, those
range?
are huge moves that it had. Like take a measured move from the low to the high. Those are
That's
huge moves. They
50%.
don't look that big because of the pump that came after, but that's kind of what I think just happened with Pepe is we just had like a huge explosive move and we're gonna have like a few more dumps and squeezes, and then eventually like maybe 2024 we go on to make a new all-time high, or maybe this year, I don't know, but I think that's where we are right now. And again, those moves they look like nothing, but they're huge, and this one on Pepe was just huge.
Yeah, because when did it top? I mean, that was the top of the bull market. So
Yeah, I mean Pepe will do well next cycle, but I don't. I mean, look, you could accumulate now. Like maybe the bottom's in. I don't know, but I'm leaning towards like if you were to just try to draw a range from like I don't know, like somewhere. Yeah, I mean lower than that. You know, like literally our low there, and then maybe slightly above our high. Like I think we're just gonna kind of range between like yeah, I don't know.
It's cleaner on the MEXC.
oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Let's see. Yeah.
Like we'll probably trade into some of the like we've already been trading into some of the really high time frame weekly inefficiencies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll trade down that low, but we're already trading into like a weekly inefficiency, for example. Or we filled it basically.
I
So
mean, that's I like that chart.
Yeah, it looks good.
that's probably the bottom. It's just a matter of how long is it going to go sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could certainly be the bottom. Is it weird that like a decent portion of my trading profits from this year have come from Pepe? Like more than I'm comfortable admitting. Like,
I mean, you're not the only person on CT who can probably relate to that. So
it's just I don't know if it's like I don't know if it touts an even more advanced level of skill in order to do that, or if it's like I just suck and I just got lucky with a meme coin. But I don't know. It's been great to me this year.
oh my goodness, Doug.
It's been trading cleanly too, which has
It's
been
been
great.
super clean.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's like when it trends hard and it respects the levels. But yeah, I mean Pepe's been really great to trade this year.
Pepe has been a blessing this year, Max. You can call it what it is.
That's true.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, it
It
has
looks
been.
good, though. Honestly, I might consider taking a long on this. I think Bitcoin's low is in. I was kind of hoping for 30.2, but we might go to like 30.7 or like 30.6 first. Just like really small granular level price action, but oh no.
Where is that Milady chart, bro?
Type in Milady Weth or Weeth. It'll be the first one.
Well, wait, what are you looking at right now?
Milady.
Don't worry about it, Max. It's okay.
I think we're gonna probably need to grind for a while. Like, I think we're gonna do what we did from the beginning of 2023 to April.
I have a question. Can that chart go negative or no? It looks like there's support right
Hey,
there,
man,
right
we
below
like
that level. If we sweep those
the
lows,
ladies.
like there's some equal lows right there at zero, I
I
think.
see him. See him.
You see
It
those?
looks bad without log on though, for sure.
Those are perfectly equal lows, man. I don't know at zero.
Right down there. Yeah.
That
Point.
looks
Point.
kind of awful without log on.
Yeah.
What does look at Remilios? It'll probably be a little bit more of a telling picture because the derivative of
What are the market caps of these two? Any idea?
Remilio. IO. There you go.
This one.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
Oof.
God.
pretty bad though. Looks pretty
It's
bad.
over for Milady derivatives.
What did the peak at? 3? 2.5?
My thesis was that if 3 was not the Remilio's, I think peaked at like 2.5. But if Milady doesn't hold 3 ETH as support, it's probably gonna cut in half again. And then I'll buy it.
So
Like,
my question for something like this is, Tucker, you just drew that out. Is this something you actually consider buying down there, or is it just like it just kind of bleeds and doesn't go on to make a new all-time high?
I would use Remilio's as a proxy to gauge where like Milady risk appetite is in this case, but at the bottom, I'm not going to be buying Remilio's. I'm going to be buying Milady's.
Hmm.
See what Hagrid's microstructure quant has to say. Oh, oh wow.
Called the bottom on that dip. Called the top. There he is.
Put it in. No,
I know that you're
that's
gonna
not
just
perfect,
you. I
fellas.
know you're just gonna sit in your room until this thing is perfect. I already know it.
I I programmed I programmed Martin Galing into it. See,
He's gonna show up one day and he's gonna go, I didn't sleep last night, but the algorithm is perfect.
This is like an RSI thing, Tucker.
no. It's far more complex than that.
How dare you accuse me of a simple RSI indicator?
Look at that. Look at that. Come on.
Wow, look at that.
Come on.
I actually want you to just go like full schizo on this and just make it perfect. I'd love it. You could just
Because that's
dial it in.
always been my problem. Besides just like the fundamental problems with buy sell indicators, like my problem has always been the false signals. I hate false signals. I'm like, why can't it just be like, even if it gives less signals, just make them perfect? And this is not that at all yet, clearly, but we're gonna get there.
Perfect.
We're gonna get there. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
come
not
on.
far off. It definitely needs a little tweaking, but I don't think it's that bad, man.
Not bad. It's not bad. We're getting there.
Hagrid's super duper microstructure scalp god machine algo 1.0.
Yeah, this is one.
Is it volume based at all?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I've got volume, RSI bull bear divergence, MACD, and an EMA crossover in there. I can't reveal the full source code, it's proprietary.
Patent pending. Awaiting imminent approval.
Awaiting Discord and Patreon memberships coming soon.
What does it say on the 1 minute?
That's where it
I
gets a
think
little
1 minute
noisy, I
is-
think.
It's over.
Dude, I made it at first and it was like super lagging, like it was telling you to buy tops and sell bottoms. And I was literally just like, make it leading. And then it did it, and I was like, make it faster, and it literally spit this out. Yeah, it's a little rough on the 1 minute. It tells you when to fade. Look at that. It's like fade, nuke.
I mean, if you just went in with like small amounts, right? So like, quarter position size on every buy and quarter position, I guess, asks. It needs to be tightened up a little bit.
It definitely needs it, because if you shorted this candle, you're wrecked.
Yeah.
And if you're longing here, you're wrecked.
Yeah.
So
The ones on longs, one thing I've learned with divs is it's like you get the div and then you get the stop run. So the way I would treat a lot of these signals is I get the signal and then I'm like, okay, wait for the stop run and then trade the signal.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's honestly how a lot of it works. Like you get the signal, stop run. You get the signal here, stop run. You're probably getting a stop run right now. Like that one might be the top.
It's gonna take a few minutes to play out.
Hagrid Microstructure Quant Index is free for Discord members. So if you want alpha, you know where to find it.
I love it. I love it. Man, do I want to buy more soul here? I want to play this again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You got the buy signal in the 1 minute.
What about the 5? 15.
It's just so much selling up on that pump.
I told you Martin Galen is priced in.
Short. No.
Yeah, it takes into consideration no stop loss.
Oh man.
Soul said F your indicator, bro.
It really did.
Turning it off. It's too embarrassing.
Lifetime
It's not-
package. Lifetime package. $2 million for Hagrid's Super Scalper 1.0 Premier
Yeah.
Algo.
Yeah.
Funny, man. Funny. What do you think of SPX here, Tucker? Take a look at her.
Ooh.
Kind of looks like she's trying to climb a little bit.
Yeah, I have a better SPX chart. I think I had what's even on here? 4 EMAs. Yeah, so I had some bear gaps. They got that one. This is the next one for sure.
Just taking that gap.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna take that gap. And I think when it does, it goes to the higher high. I mean, the trend is still to bid these pullbacks. I don't know why you wouldn't here. You know,
I bid the pullback, and I didn't hold it long enough. Shaky hands this week.
paper hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it wants higher.
Yeah, it does. It's on the daily time for actually go to like the 4 hour maybe, Tucker. Can you go to the left now, like way to the left? There's some equal highs to the left right there. Yeah, that level right there. I think that probably gets taken.
45.20. Yeah, this was like when we were talking about the yield curve and all that stuff. This was the ultimate target based on the yield curve stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was that, but I think once you get in here, it'll be probably a little more difficult to get higher.
It's interesting to see QQQ lagging today. Very interesting.
I know. Which stocks? Yeah, QQQ's lagging. WM's leading. Chips kind of mixed.
But see, with QQQ lagging, it kind of I'm like, when's the catch up gonna happen?
This is QQQ right here. All these. That's why QQQ's lagging. Google, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, all red. ARC is barely green. BBBY down 27%.
Casually, no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what this rotation the rotation algo they're running is today, but
Squeeze the small cap shorters, man. All you need to know, right?
yeah, where is it? Yeah, there it is.
Tucker, how's the Dow looking, man?
The Dow?
How's the Dow looking?
There's the Dow.
The Dow is either gonna pop to all-time highs in one candle or just Bart.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that thing. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it hasn't kind of broken up by now. I mean, it looked like it was painting a inverse head and shoulders pretty cleanly for a while there.
Yeah. Everybody was
Tech was
looking for
ripping,
that.
S&P 500 was ripping. There just seems to be a bit of a wall there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the neck. That's the neckline. Yeah, that gets you there. That would get you there. I don't know if it can break 342s.
I mean, is there some contextual significance to breaking this high too? As far as economic strength, what do you think? Do you guys believe in the idea of contextual significance, even in the face of kind of something that we've all been talking about over the last few months at this point, which is the market's going to be driven primarily by positioning rather than sentiment?
I do, yeah. No, I do. I think the context is going to be extremely key with all this. I think that for right now, I mean, there's this small window of time where I think that tech's just going to outperform everything. And I actually I'm not buying this lag today. Again, I think this is like we talked about early on in the show. I don't think this is a rotation that's going to last. I think it's more of a dead cat bounce against its pairs for small caps and then altcoins for that much. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think look, why during a period of risk on would you want to own industrials? Why would you want to own like John Deere and Cat and bank stocks when you could own tech that got pummeled last year and is going to squeeze 100% on the bounce? So I think, yeah, I mean, I think context is key. It's just that I don't view this as weakness. I think this is just a lack of interest, is what we're seeing printed right here on the Dow.
You know what it looks like? It looks a lot like the pattern that we painted right after Volmageddon.
Can you find that, Tucker?
Does, does
2018.
yeah.
We had that huge dip, and then we spent a ton of time consolidating at resistance. It eventually did break out though. But as we see with these double tops, guys, the second top is so much weaker, and the drop from the second top is quite murderous.
About 20%.
No, I'm saying the COVID drop is the
Oh,
sick.
that? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we had our first sell off, the equivalent would be basically the wick around the beginning of 2019. And then we spent a ton of time consolidating, about to potentially break out for basically 6 to 7 months, which is kind of what the Dow is doing right now. So I don't know. That's
Yeah.
something to
I think if
watch.
we go higher, it's tech. I mean, clearly it needs to chill probably after pulling that move for a second. But I mean, it's already reclaimed its March 22 highs, right? S&P is not. S&P's got a little more to go. So Jesus Christ, what is all this? Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to, it's just what Max said. It's like, why would I buy John Deere here? God, the falling wedge played, and I didn't capitalize on it at all.
The
sometimes,
meme wedge,
The
sometimes it's
meme
that
wedge
simple, man.
played.
it really was as simple as a meme wedge, man.
Even just the downtrend, like Jesus Christ, that would have been the bid.
That's the bid right there, and then just cut it on like a dip underneath the yellow line. Yeah, it's that simple.
Sacred microstructure. Boom.
Called the top, baby.
Called the top. Wow, look at that. Not great. I'm taking it off. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, man, I mean, a bunch of people's indicators got invalidated by this chart, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yep.
This was when you couldn't really trade with an indicator.
Yeah, no.
I always feel like the indicator should never be the basis for which you're making a decision. I think that's where a lot of indicators go wrong. They should always be like an annotation or like a visualization.
Just confluence.
Yeah. Like you should know by price what's probably going to happen before an indicator tells you anything.
Very true.
Not to sound like a purist, because I'm not. I'm definitely not. I use indicators in my trading a lot, but I usually, one thing I've been doing is I've been using them in like layers. When I'm looking at a fresh chart, I'll turn all my indicators off and I'll look at just the price action, and then I'll kind of like build out the indicators, they kind of like paint a framework after I do that. So
Mm-hmm.
good little happy medium.
I'd have to long some QQQ.
Did Virgin Galactic ever squeeze? I know they had a big announcement last week.
Virgin. Oh, the
SPCE. The only reason I bring up the ticker is because I remember like when I was a stock trader noob first entering the market, everybody was talking about like, oh yeah, you should buy SPCE, including one of my coworkers who I remember, when I was leaving my company in like November, December of 2021, I was a big bear, man. I was a big bear. I was telling everybody like, sell your stuff, get into cash. I timed that's probably like theme wise the best call I've made since I started trading. But I remember telling him, he was like, yeah, I mean, it's already down like 66% from the high, man. I'm buying down here. And I said, man, that like I've been in altcoins. Let me tell you, they can keep dipping.
yeah, you would have bought right here. Yeah.
Like, let me tell you about my favorite altcoin and the dip that I bought that kept on dipping. It's really not a meme, man. It's if you think it's a meme, it's just because you haven't experienced it yet. Like the whole buy the dip keeps on dipping on an altcoin, DCAing keeps on dipping.
Everyone learns at one point. Everyone becomes a Bitcoin maxi for like a year, when you get burned by an alt.
It's just whether or not you get stuck in that phase of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And you learn to love alts again. It just takes a little time.
That chart actually does not look that bad, but those wicks do.
Yeah, they do. Like I bet you this was a bull div for sure.
Those wicks scream like, get me the hell out of this asset at any price.
Just someone just chasing it the whole way down. Sell while moving down as price moves down.
Yeah. Wait, did they launch their flight?
Yeah, I'm watching it on Bloomberg right now.
Is it happening right now?
Looks like it.
Wait, has it taken off?
I mean, unless it has no gravity.
So it didn't blow up. That's good.
No, they're definitely like flying. I don't know where they are, but they're flying somewhere. It looks like it's in space. Otherwise, I don't think
They're under the dome. That's for sure right now.
Thankfully, Bloomberg's covering it, so I'm gonna assume they're okay. But my screen did just pause, so
how do they get through though?
Yeah, how'd they get through the dome?
It's funny to me that they launched a rocket into space and their stock is only up like
Everyone's like, cool, whatever.
Cool.
If that doesn't make you just like bearish as hell on that stock, then like I don't know what to say.
That makes me think of that line.
Man.
And if you guys
Getting
seen,
a 5-minute chatter.
wow, look at that.
They definitely had a ton of people buy calls at the close yesterday, and then they just destroyed them at open.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh no! Oh, did they crash?
Oh no!
Did the spaceship crash? Oh no.
Don't fade the quant.
Look at the sell signal. It predicted the crash.
It went to 0. Yo.
Dude.
Oh
Who is?
no.
Oh my god.
Tommy, what happened? Are you watching this?
Yeah, this is hilarious. I mean, nothing's wrong with the rocket, but the stock is literally trading like an altcoin.
People are so eager to get out.
What the heck?
It literally is trading like an altcoin.
That's disgusting, man.
That looks like a KuCoin alt, man.
Who's trading this? Where's the volume?
Oh,
Oh,
you know that somebody just like bought it 475, like really excited watching it on Bloomberg, and then just like checked their phone right after they bought, and it just went straight down.
well, look at both of those. Look at the last 3 the last 3 grinds up. They've all
Yeah.
super bullish PA and then just nuked call
Yeah.
buyers.
Every time.
Wow,
Dude,
man.
that's a 6% dump.
That's
That's a
ridiculous,
good
man.
market maker right there.
Remind me to never trade that ticker.
In a 1 minute candle, 6%. That's worse than an altcoin.
That's not good.
The only time I've made money on options on something like completely random in the news occurring, like that wasn't really related to the stock market, was on those it was a like, do you remember when Tempest called out the Trump's media company or whatever, and I bought those calls on that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Entirely random.
I remember that. Whatever happened with that company? Is he like, are they still doing anything or no?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Do you feel protected? Do you feel protected? That's good. Wow, man.
Gary.
Investor protections.
Speaking of Gary G, I might go long some illegal securities real quick.
Ooh.
I'm just joking. I think I don't know. I will say one alt I'm very disappointed in today is Arbitrum. I really thought that was going to run a lot harder.
Yeah, I am surprised.
That's good
Total
stuff.
doesn't look bad. Like total crypto market cap, like if there's gonna be a bounce, it probably should be about here.
Yo, the candle's moving towards his finger.
I know. Did you see that? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, investor protections.
Do you feel safe yet?
It's gonna go. Let's see if it goes into.
I mean, they reached space. Like at Bloomberg, according to Bloomberg, everything's fine.
Nah, man, the chart's telling me otherwise. Something's going on. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Chart predicting imminent crash.
Yeah, man, something happened there. That's
oh my
god.
god.
That's not a successful launch to space. I don't know what that is.
What's the volume on that candle, Tucker? It's probably beautiful. Oh my god.
Hagrid told you.
What does the 4-hour look like? Like what kind of liquidity did we just sweep?
Telling you to buy.
Wow.
Haven't really gotten there yet. It's definitely gonna
when you zoom in, dumps like that seem a lot more dramatic, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, look at that. The gap up and then nuke.
It looks like Blur.
Yeah, it does.
Probably going to do the exact same thing.
Wow. I mean, that was a 12% dump candle.
Never buy calls for a rocket launch news event. Come on, guys.
even if it doesn't
Dude, it makes me
crash.
think of that scene in Billions where they were like, they were shorting the stock.
Yes, dude. Oh my god. And then it blew
Yeah,
up.
and then it blew up and the guy died and they were like celebrating because they made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Not that anyone died here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Tommy's watching. Maybe it did. I don't know.
You mean like the Challenger?
Tommy, they ran
Yeah.
into the dome, didn't they? They hit the dome.
They're just flying through the clouds right now, man.
Is it just a plane or what are they trying to do?
I don't know. It looks like the equivalent. Like if you're looking at a rocket ship, this looks like the equivalent of a Tesla to a car, where you think it looks kind of cheap.
Okay. So we're not
Sorry if
missing
you
much.
have a Tesla.
No, I do not drive a Tesla, but I know what you mean.
That's my issue with electric cars, is that I feel like they don't look as like they're built as nicely, even though some of them are.
Hey now.
Do you not love the planet, Tommy?
Rivian, the chart looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
Had some
Will they finally break it out?
this one.
Not gonna lie, that high time frame chart makes me think that they don't. The fact that we dip so low, but I don't know. Maybe we do.
I almost bought this VAL touch. I should have.
Good move towards range high.
Yeah. I mean, the chart is bad though. I mean,
Rooting for you and Will's outlook, but looks a bit like DeFi
I don't even know if they've split. Have they even split anything? I don't think they have. This has just been straight down.
ETH.
There's been no splits, which
No
is good, honestly. But mooning.
What do you guys think? You about ready to wrap things up here?
Oh, wait. Look at the Hut Mara ratio.
Wow.
Let's see this. Looks like we've been yeah, we're breaking out. We're breaking out. It's gonna happen.
Might need a little more time. Kind of looks like Link.
What about Hut Riots? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That looks good. That looks super good.
Can we make it work?
It's funny, I like to see all these accumulation charts and I feel like I recognize a ton of different altcoins.
Yeah.
That looks like Soul.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mismanaged my SPY position, guys.
We're ripping.
No, we're coiling though. It's gonna go up.
Can you guys hear that?
Your cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just screaming.
He's a cutie. She's a cutie.
She
They, them is a cutie.
I'm letting her decide. She hasn't told me yet.
Heard her again.
Well,
Let
they
her
have some.
kindergarten teacher decide.
My cat's sleeping near me.
All right, guys, let's call it here. I'm gonna go get some coffee and figure out how to get myself some additional exposure here after puking a really good entry. Tommy, you want to take us out, my man?
Sure, I can take us out. Yeah, I don't have too much to say from a market standpoint. I mean, for me, the trading is kind of mostly derived from like microstructure based, price action, at least as far as positioning specifically for beta, because I mean, being wrong on beta in this range has been no bueno. But also for Bitcoin as well. But yeah, no, I mean, it's cool when we have these days where yes, it's been choppy all week. It's been pretty crappy to trade, but then you have this one day where altcoins, IWM, a bunch of things are up a ton on the day, right? Like, I mean, Sol's up double digits, Pepe's up almost double digits, IWM is up 1.5%. So a great day if you're a speculator, especially if you timed your buys specifically yesterday. But yeah, no, I mean, not too much to say beyond that, right? Like, just don't get chopped up. I always hate trading chop, but I've grown an appreciation for it too, because I feel like understanding how to kind of navigate the sideways price action too can, give you a bit of an edge as far as eventually positioning when the market starts trending. But enough on that, guys. We appreciate you as always for tuning in. I was going to say, like, turning on your TV. What am I talking about? We're on. But no, we'll be back for Spaces later this afternoon. We've got a bit of a surprise in that regard, so looking forward to that at about, I think, 4:15 Eastern time. Let's see. Anything else that I'm forgetting? I don't think so.
Free 1 week trial of our
Yes,
Discord.
free. Well, I was going to shout out all of this stuff, but yes, no, Max is right. We have a free 1 week trial for our Discord right now. If you enjoyed the content, you enjoyed the conversation, want to get a more intimate access to some of our positioning, the way we trade, we do offer some premium content, right? We have our Discord, we have our newsletter, we have our website, a ton of different ways to see kind of what we're seeing in markets. And our Discord, as Max said, is a 1 week free trial. So no cost to you, just to see what we're about. Otherwise, yeah, no, I mean, we really appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. Like I said, we have links to our other premium content in the description of this YouTube video, as well as the link tree of our Twitter bio. But thank you guys so much. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Friday. Friday kind of feels a bit like Friday today. I'm not going to lie. But I hope you guys have had a phenomenal week so far. And yeah, we'll be back later this afternoon. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.